Hi guys, and welcome back to the Cassie Projects. So this week we're going to be doing some art in my sketchbook, which is so exciting. Can you believe it? I've almost finished this book. I think we could do one more sketchbook ideas episode and this book will be full. I've got 5 ideas to do today. The first one is kind of a continuation from previous ideas. You may have seen in my other sketchbook videos, I have done a red page. So I have filled the page with red items, red things. Then I decided to do an orange page. I got you guys to help me out with that one. I filled this page with lots of orange items. So in my last sketchbook video, I asked you all in the comments to give me a bunch of ideas, and you really did. You guys went to town and threw so many yellow ideas at me for this week's page, which was very helpful because you guys know I'm not a fan of yellow. This page was a little bit intimidating for me. The first one that I wanted to go with was honeycomb. I thought that was such a great idea, and I thought it was a really good way of filling in space on this page. So I started off with some honeycomb and of course added some bees in there. Another person mentioned a Lego brick. I drew a little single Lego brick in there and did a massive sunflower next to it. And on the left side, I decided to do a jar, and I'm going to fill that one up with fireflies. Thank you so much for your genius ideas. Fireflies, it's just brilliant. And then we're going to move on to a chick holding some caution tape, and then some yellow polka dot Wellington boots. Apple pie and custard. I like the food themed yellow ones, thought that was brilliant. A goldfinch and some stars. Of course we had to add a rubber duck into this one. If you haven't seen my video last week, I actually painted on a rubber duck and turned it into a zombie. It was pretty awesome. But this one's going to be a nice happy yellow rubber duck and not a half dead one. Then I decided to write the word yellow in a nice pretty calligraphy style. We've got some butter, the moon, a buttercup flower, a lollipop, some emojis, and of course a lemon slice. So I had so many ideas for this page that I could barely fit it all in. I'm really pleased with how much I managed to get over this spread. And this is something that I really like about this book, is that it opens wide way, so it's just got a huge amount of space to play with. So I'm really enjoying the landscape style sketchbook. I definitely think I'll invest in more of these to come. And now we're going to go in with some watercolour. So like my others, I have just added that lovely splash of yellow all over the page. And it's really nice because it's so simple to do. This is something that I love about this sketchbook idea, is that you haven't got to worry about colour because there's just one colour to play with. So I added all the yellow to the page and then I added in those details. Interestingly, a lot of those details turned out to be black. So we had the black on the goldfinch and then the black on the bee. We had a bit of brown on the sunflower. And then I wanted to darken up around that jar because I wanted those fireflies to really stand out. So I wanted to make a section of that page nice and dark. I used my Artex marker to go all around that nice and neatly, and then I actually used my watercolour around the edges so that it kind of blended out into the white. I decided to add another section of it in the other corner just to bring the whole piece together and make it look nice. I'm going in with some more details using my acrylic markers. I decided to go around the honeycomb with this neon yellow, which is in this Artex set, and that really stood out loads. And then I added some lighter yellows and some darker yellows just to give it a bit more interest. So there you go, there is that page complete. I absolutely love it. Now, guys, of course, the next colour page that I'm going to be doing is green. So if you have any ideas for my green page, please do put them down below because it's really helpful. Next up, I decided to create a bucket list, and this one is going to be a fall bucket list. You could do this with any season you like. I just wanted to do this autumnal feel because it just gets me excited. So we started off with a bucket in the middle, and I'm gonna write full bucket list on there so we know what season we're going for. And this is a really lovely idea because it can get you inspired to do things with your family and do little things that just bring you happiness when it's getting a little bit colder and the blues might start to be coming. And I just think it's really good to appreciate what you can get from this season. The things that I'd like to do. I want to make a pie. Wouldn't it be nice to make a pie? There's just something lovely about baking over the autumn time. I think there's something special about it. I mean, who doesn't want to carve a pumpkin? That's super fun, isn't it? I don't know if I'll get a massive pumpkin. Maybe I should. I mean, my chickens will thoroughly enjoy eating the pumpkin afterwards, so maybe I should treat myself to a pumpkin this year and do some carving. Wearing a nice warm woolly jumper. I've already done this several times because it's got plenty cold enough lately to put on a nice woolly jumper. So that one is definitely ticked off already. Picking leaves and acorns and conkers and lovely things like that. There's something so special about going for a nice autumnal walk and collecting those lovely autumn leaves. It's something that I definitely want to do. So I went in with my Derwent Inktense pencils, and this was super fun because with these pencils you colour in and then you can add water to blend it together and it becomes an ink. It's really nice because you don't have to go in too hard. You can go in quite hard and create those darker shades and the lighter shades, but then you can blend it all together really nicely with the water, and it just takes a lot of that hard work out of it because the water does the blending for you. Everyone has got to go through a Harry Potter marathon during the fall season because it's just lovely, and there's nothing better than lighting the fire and cuddling up under a blanket watching Harry Potter. You can also add water to your paper first and then use your pencil over the water, and it's almost like using a pen instead of using a pencil. It's a really strange texture to work with, but it makes it so opaque and beautiful. Another thing I'd like to do is make some toffee apples this year. I used to always have toffee apples around bonfire night when I was a kid. I'm really keen on making toffee apples with my kids this bonfire night. I think it'll be really nice. Light a lovely scented candle. I want to get myself a nice autumnal candle that smells of cinnamon and yumminess. And finally, to make a delicious soup. Heartwarming. So I think that one is absolutely gorgeous. But now I'm going to show you a really fun page filler. We have created this full bucket list on the left page, and now we're going to go onto the right page. First up, you need to create this little match shape. So we've got the stick and then the rounded head at the top. And then we're going to create these burned edges underneath that round area. And then we're going to create the flame. So we're just going to add circles around that matchstick, and that's where the flames will go. So now we've got that basic sketch down, we're going to go round that entire match and the flame using my black Artex acrylic marker. So basically I'm just colouring in all that space, and we're going to kind of create a smoky edge across the left side. We're going to add the burnt kind of colours onto the match. So we've got these little strokes of black going in. Then we're going to go in and add some greys. We're going to dot that very lightly all around the left side, and it gives this almost a crumbly texture. It looks like that matchstick is crumbling apart and highlights that left side, which is really nice. We're going to add some yellow to surround it, and then some red, and we're going to blend those colours in together. We're going in with yellow again, and that is going to be the entire flame, so we're going to colour that space in there. Next up, we need a little bit of blue. So the blue is just going to follow slightly around the flame and around that matchstick. And then we're going to have a lighter blue that comes down, which almost looks like it's dripping down the matchstick. And then we're going to add some white around the top of the flame to make that really stand out against the black. We're going to colour in the match in a beige colour. And finally, just to finish that off, we're going to add some smoke lines. So I'm using my Jelly Roll white pen, and I'm just adding some swirls coming up the page as if the smoke is coming from that flame. And there you go. It's so simple, so easy, but I think it really finishes off this page and brings this 2-page spread together as one, which really does have this lovely warm feel to it. The next idea is quite simple really and very therapeutic. What you need to do is create these semicircle shapes, and it looks a little bit like scales, like mermaid scales or fish scales coming down the page. Once I've got that drawn out, I'm going to go in with some acrylic gouache. You could use any paint for this. You could use acrylic, watercolour, whatever you've got. I decided to go for acrylic gouache because it gives this very matte finish, which I really like. I'm going for greens and blues and kind of like this teal kind of colour, and I'm going to mix several different shades to use on those scale shapes. So I'm going in each one very slightly different shade until I've completely filled in that page with all these greens and blues. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to get out my Artex acrylic markers, and I've got this bright vivid silver which I'm going to outline each of those shapes, and it works so well. The silver against this bluey green colour is just stunning. And now this is the bit where you get to just enjoy yourself. You're going to add dots and lines and circles and just fill in each of those shapes. So at first I just used my silver pen, I added lines and dots, and then I decided to get out a gold marker as well. So I then added some more dots and lines, and I kept filling in more and more details on these different shapes. I then decided to really make it stand out is I would use one of my white markers, and I think that that worked really, really nicely, especially against the darker blues. Again, adding some dots and lines and circles, and I'm just sticking to a very simple, limited pattern style. I'm not doing anything complicated. It's just lines and dots and circles for most of it. And then finally I added a little bit of black in there, and I just carried on adding more and more details until I thought it was complete. And I absolutely love how this turned out. I love those little white dots, they look like little stars, and the whole process of it was really enjoyable as well. So in my previous sketchbook video, I started the Inktober prompt list. This is a list of unusual prompts that you can follow throughout the month of October. This month I decided to do one spread in my sketchbook to complete all the different prompts. So each day I created a small little drawing to follow each prompt, and we've got 4 left. Number 28 was jumbo. So the first thing I thought of was an elephant. I didn't know what else I could do outside of that, so I thought I'd do this cute little sketch of an elephant just sat there. Then the next one was navigate, so I thought I would do that typical compass star looking thing with the northeast, southwest, and I thought that would work well for navigation. Day 30, I was a little bit confused by this one because, like I was saying, most of the prompts have been to do with adventure and travel, but this one was violin. I don't know why they chose violin. Can't make sense of it. Did I read the word wrong? It does say violin, doesn't it? Can you imagine if I've read it wrong? So yeah, I drew a violin. Simple as that. And then finally, day 31 was landmark. So I thought I would go for Land's End. Yeah, very British. I think I thought of that because it said landmark, and straight away I went Land's End. So there you go, there is my Inktober page complete, and I absolutely love the look of it. I really, really like the finished spread. I felt like there was a lot less pressure there because I was drawing such a tiny picture every day. There are my 5 art ideas this week. I hope that it inspires you to get creative as well. Thank you so much for watching. Do carry on watching some more videos over here. I will put a playlist of my sketchbook ideas videos just here, and I will see you soon.